Commander Zix-9 of the Galactic Research Consortium stood before the holographic display, his four eyes blinking in rapid succession, a clear sign of distress among his kind. The data streaming across the translucent screen defied every known law of evolutionary biology. "Run the analysis again," he commanded, his voice carrying the mechanical undertone characteristic of his species' vocal apparatus. Dr. Vela, the consortium's lead xenobiologist, manipulated the controls with her tentacled appendages. "Commander, I've run it 17 times. The results remain consistent. This species, it's unlike anything we've ever encountered." The hologram shifted, displaying a bipedal creature with smooth skin, bilateral symmetry, and what appeared to be primitive sensory organs. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable, even fragile compared to the armored exoskeletons of the Krathen or the energy-absorbing membranes of the Solari. "Physical specifications?" Zix-9 inquired. "Middling strength, average speed, limited natural armor. No obvious predatory adaptations. No energy manipulation capabilities. Their atmospheric requirements are quite narrow, and they can only survive in a limited temperature range." Dr. Vela paused, her chromatophores shifting to deep purple, the color of confusion. By all conventional metrics, they should have been extinct within their first million years. Yet they're not. "No, Commander. They're thriving." The display zoomed in on the third planet of a yellow dwarf star. What they saw challenged everything the consortium understood about planetary development. The surface showed signs of massive terraforming, not the gradual multi-million-year processes they were familiar with, but rapid, systematic changes that had occurred in mere millennia. "Show me the temporal progression," Zix-9 ordered. The hologram flickered, displaying the planet's surface across different time periods. 10,000 rotations ago, the humans lived in small groups using primitive stone tools. 5,000 rotations ago, they had developed agriculture and permanent settlements. 1,000 rotations ago, they had harnessed electrical energy. 100 rotations ago, they had achieved flight. "And now?" the commander asked, though he could already see the answer floating before him. The current display showed a planet crisscrossed with artificial structures, vessels moving between planetary bodies, and energy signatures that registered at levels approaching those of established galactic civilizations. "They've developed faster than light communication," Dr. Vela reported, her voice barely above a whisper. "They're already detecting our observation probes." "Impossible. Their technology was primitive just rotations ago. That's what makes them so unprecedented. Watch this." The display shifted to show a human settlement on a frozen wasteland. The creatures had no natural insulation, no internal heating mechanisms, no evolutionary adaptations for cold environments. Yet they had constructed artificial shelters, developed heating systems, and created protective clothing that allowed them to thrive in conditions that should have killed them. "They don't adapt biologically," Dr. Vela explained. "They adapt technologically, and they do it faster than any species we've documented." Another scene showed humans in an environment with toxic atmospheric conditions. Instead of evolving filtration organs over millions of years, they had simply created artificial breathing apparatus within decades. Every challenge their environment presents, they solve with tools rather than evolution. But that's not the remarkable part. Dr. Vela manipulated the display again. "Watch this." The hologram showed two separate human groups, thousands of distance units apart, facing similar challenges. Both groups developed nearly identical solutions simultaneously, despite having no contact with each other. They share information across vast distances instantaneously. What one learns, others can learn immediately. They're essentially one collective organism with billions of individual processing units. Commander Zix-9's photosensitive patches dimmed, a sign of deep contemplation. "Have they detected us?" 3 rotations ago, yes. They've not only detected our observation probes, but have begun attempting communication. "Show me," the display revealed, a human facility directing precisely calibrated energy bursts toward their cloaked observation post. The pattern was unmistakably mathematical. Prime numbers followed by geometric sequences, then increasingly complex equations. "They're trying to establish that they're intelligent," Dr. Vela observed. "They've deduced that something is watching them and are attempting first contact protocols. In 3 rotations, they developed first contact protocols." Actually, Commander, analysis of their information network suggests they developed multiple first contact scenarios over 50 rotations ago, long before they detected us. They've been preparing for this possibility for generations. Zix-9 felt his equilibrium chambers fluctuate. In his 300 years of xenological study, he had never encountered anything like this. Most species required millions of evolutionary cycles to develop significant adaptations. These humans had gone from primitive toolmakers to spacefaring civilization in the time it took most species to develop a new digestive enzyme. "What's their population?" he asked. "Over 8 billion individuals on the primary planet alone. They've already established colonies on 2 other bodies in their system." 8 billion? Zix-9's voice cracked. Most species plateau at a few hundred million before resource limitations force evolutionary pressure towards sustainable population sizes. They don't wait for evolution, Commander. They increase resource availability through technology. They've learned to extract energy from their star, from atomic bonds, from the motion of their planet's atmosphere. When they need more space, they build upward. When they need more food, they engineer organisms to produce more efficiently. The commander stood silent for long moments, watching the data stream. These creatures defied every model of species development the consortium had established over millions of years of galactic observation. Recommendation, Doctor? Dr. Vela's chromatophores shifted through several colors before settling on silver, the color of uncertainty. Contact, Commander. Immediate contact. If their adaptation rate continues at current levels, they'll surpass our technological capabilities within centuries, rather than millennia. It would be prudent to establish diplomatic relations while we still have something to offer them. Commander Zix-9 made his decision. Open communication channels. And Doctor? Yes, Commander? Prepare our fastest courier ships. The Galactic Council needs to know that we've discovered something unprecedented, a species that adapts faster than evolution itself. He paused, watching the humans' primitive yet ingenious vessels moving between their system's planets. They call themselves humans, but perhaps what they really are is the future of intelligence itself. The hologram continued its display as the first official greeting was transmitted toward the small blue planet, marking the beginning of what would become the most significant first contact in galactic history.